The world outside her window was quiet, but inside, Sophia felt the lingering echo of everything that she had endured. Edith's words, the trials she had faced, the nights that had felt like hell, all still hummed faintly in her chest, a reminder of the fire she had survived. Yet now, for the first time in days, the storm inside her had softened. Her breaths were slower, each inhale and exhale grounding her to the present. The jagged edges of her emotions dulled, leaving a delicate calm that felt almost alien in its gentleness. She rested her hands on her lap, feeling the pulse of her heart, steady and resilient, a testament to her endurance. The quiet was not empty, it was pregnant with possibility. Sophia felt herself poised on the edge of something tender, something honest. It was as though the silence invited her to speak, to acknowledge the depths that she had traveled, to release what had been held too tightly. The calm did not erase the pain, nor did it diminish the memories of what had been harsh and relentless, but it gave her space, a sacred pause, in which she could finally feel the longing to express the truth she had carried quietly inside her heart. For the first time in what felt like forever, Sophia realized that she was ready to confront her emotions, not with fear, not with judgment, but with honesty, and somewhere deep within, a small, insistent voice whispered that the act of expression might offer her a new form of freedom. The calm that had settled around her pressed gently, inviting reflection. Sophia felt a deep stir in her chest, a pull that was insistent and relenting. She needed to speak, to give voice to the quiet truth she had carried through the fires of her trials. It was not anger that demanded expression, nor was it the ache of longing alone. It was something quieter yet more urgent, a need to release the weight of unspoken love, the surrender that she had learned in the crucible of her own soul. She did not know who should hear it, nor whether anyone ever would read it, but the words demanded form. Her fingers hovered over a blank piece of paper, the pen poised like a bridge between the private chambers of her heart and the paper before her. Each beat of her heart seemed to echo a single thought. I must tell it. I must write it down. She began to breathe with intention, letting the pulse of her own life guide her. The room, the quiet, the lingering warmth of surviving the hell that Edith had described, all conspired to create a sacred space. In that space, the desire to speak was no longer a whisper, it was a gentle, commanding presence. Sophia recognized the truth. The act of expression was not for validation, not for recognition. It was a ritual of honesty, a declaration that her love, her surrender, and her lived experiences were real and deserving of acknowledgement. The letter would not need a recipient. It was not for the world. It was for her. And in that recognition, she began to write, letting the first words flow like soft, unguarded breaths onto the page. The pen moved almost on its own accord, guided by the rhythm of her heart. Sophia wrote not with careful restraint, but with the urgency of truth, letting every word that had lingered in the quiet corners of her soul find its place on the page. She confessed her love in its purest form, unguarded, tender, and complete. The longing, the devotion, the unspoken dreams and fears all flowed freely, laid bare for no one but herself. There was no expectation, no hope of reciprocation. The letter was not an attempt to reach another, it was a mirrored reflection to the depths of her own heart. And with the confession came surrender. She wrote of her acceptance of what could not be changed, of the mysteries that she could not control, and of the grace that she was learning to extend to herself and to life. Every line carried the weight of both vulnerability and courage, the strange power of being wholly seen, even if only by herself. The room seemed to hold its breath as she wrote, the quiet amplifying the resonance of each word. Sophia's tears fell onto the paper, blurring ink but not meaning, each drop a testament to the intimacy of the act. In the silence, she recognized the paradox of the power and release, that surrender did not diminish her strength, but it revealed it. When she finally set the pen down, the letter before her, raw, honest, and alive with her essence, it was a confession of love, a declaration of surrender, and a ritual of acknowledgement. and though it would never leave her hands, it had already traveled the farthest distance possible into the depths of her own heart. Sophia stared at the letter, the inked words trembling faintly on the page like living things. For a moment she felt the familiar ache of longing, a quiet tug that whispered, "Should I send it? Will it be received?" Then she paused, breath steadying, and a deeper understanding settling over her. The letter did not need a recipient. Its power was never in delivery, never in the hope of response or validation. Its significance lay entirely in the act of expression, in the courage to articulate what had been held inside unspoken for so long. The words themselves became a bridge connecting the raw truths of her heart with the awareness she had gained through her trials. Writing had allowed her to face the depths of her love, the weight of her surrender, and the fragile beauty of her own vulnerability. The letter had been a conduit, not for someone, but for herself. She realized that self-expression was a sacred act. By giving form to her inner truth, she had honored her feelings, embraced her surrender, and reclaimed her own voice. The paper before her was more than words. It was a reflection of her strength, a testament to her capacity to face life fully, tenderly, and without disguise. Sophia folded the letter carefully, her hand steady, her chest lightened. She did not need it to be read. She did not need it to be acknowledged. The acknowledgement had already happened within her. Sophia placed the folded letter gently on the table beside her, its presence a quiet affirmation of everything that she had held, admitted, and released. The act of writing had unburdened her in ways nothing else could. The words, though never to be sent, had carried her truth to the deepest corners of her own heart. She leaned back in her chair, letting the gentle stillness of the room fill her. The air felt lighter. The soft hum of life outside her window, a gentle reminder that the world continued, indifferent yet tender in its consistency. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, she allowed herself to rest, not in avoidance or escape, but in the serenity born of honesty. The surrender was complete, yet it was not weakness. In acknowledging her love, her longing, and her vulnerability, Sophia discovered strength that she had not fully recognized. She had spoken her truth, fully and fearlessly, and in doing so, she had reclaimed a piece of herself that had been hidden, hesitant, and restrained. Her heart beat steadily, grounded and alive, carrying both tenderness and resilience. She knew now that some truths need only to be witnessed by the self to hold their power. The letter remained unsent, but its energy radiated quietly, infusing her with a profound sense of self-trust and inner peace. And in that claim, Sophia understood something sacred, that surrender, when paired with honesty, is not an end, but a beginning. A soft smile curved her lips as she rose, carrying the quiet empowerment of one who has faced her heart fully and found it luminous, steady, and free.